Good evening. Um, Sorry, I just got thrown off a little by not hearing the sound of my own voice. But I can see it's going out on the streams, so that's good. I should have put this here for a minute. Hello. Wow, that's a low frame rate. I wonder if that's happening because of network or something else. Well, it's a good thing I haven't got a better webcam right now, because then it would matter. Well, I'm going to pop across here. I have all my game dev stuff open behind there, but I also had this still open. Every year there's a medieval festival that happens around these parts that I like to go to, and I was planning to have been a bit further along by now, but I've at least sort of made a start and should be ready for next year with one of these things, a Gambison. That's the one there. So this is basically a padded underlayer for armor, chain or plate, because you don't want to be hit with something when you've got your metal protective layer directly against your skin. But also, if you can't afford chain or plate, then this is kind of it still provides a decent amount of protection against slashes. It's made of a whole bunch of layers, usually of linen, with other stuff in between, potentially scrap fabric, horsehair, pretty common. So it's basically a pretty good starting point for a suit of armor, which I want to put together. I haven't decided all the details yet. You can also then sew or rivet metal plates onto there to make something that's decently protective on its own. I have made some chainmail in the past, just like soft buttered mail that wouldn't have provided much actual protection because it was just made with like soft fencing tie wire, because that was what I had at home. But I'll probably make some more at some point. But I might go for riveted or welded, which would be more time consuming. But it's a long-term project. But speaking of long-term projects now, let's get that out of the way. So I think it's taken me 2 or 3 streams so far working on the blueprint editor. So let me just run this and have a look at where I was up to for the last stream. And I can very faintly hear some music in the background, so I'll pause that because it's not actually doing anything. So I'm still getting a warning. I'm getting a warning about my tools package not containing any files, so it's not building that assembly. But this is the one that creates these. So clearly there are files there, or at least the assembly has been built and is available. Yeah. So here we have the ability to pop these on. It's highlighting the correct area, and can put that on there. I can't drag them away from there yet, and I think that would be a natural way to get rid of them. Just like remove them and drop them anywhere. But also, I need to I'll add the shield on here so that I can prove that you actually can replace things. So let's get on with that to start with. Let's have a look in this to-do object up here too. I'll get the magnifier going. As well. So I'm currently doing add robot blueprint editor UI. And I might actually add a new one underneath there, just to add shield. Editor. So replacement. Oh, and test replacement. Replacing. And another one to add under here as well is drag. There's a way to remove. There we go. All right, what do we got here? A bunch of sticky notes about armor. I'll just leave those there and not touch them for now. Right, where are we here? Okay, cool. So yes, I'll work on this one. I don't think this is the best place to have a to-do list. It's just I'm just finding it funny right now to have that. I wonder if there's a way, like, if something has a prefab, then it's highlighted in blue. If something's disabled, it's like dark grey. Is there another kind of state that I could do? What's this? What does that do? Just hidden from the scene? It's not really doing much. What's that? Just stop it being touchable, I guess. Is that what that is? Do I get a tooltip? Oh, works on right click as well. Anyway, doesn't matter. We're doing this one here. Adding the shield to the editor. Oh wait, I know. I wonder, does this okay, will this accept a emoji? It will not. Well, that's that's a shame. But will it accept one of those? Yes, it will. So there we go. That's what I'm working on. So I have the shield. Basically, I probably just want to cut out the sprite a little better, a bit more closely of that shield. So I'll just create a little one over here and then get that there. Zoom in to see what I'm doing, and just make that fit on there. Okay, and that'll be called, these I'm calling shrink wrapped, so shield shrink wrapped. There we are. And that would probably be more sensible to use than this whole big region. At least, yeah. If I start doing sprite sheet animations on there, then it would make sense to just use this and have things move based on that. But so far I'm not. And also I'm consciously keeping all of the art in here as just prototype art for the moment. Because I don't want to get too caught up in the art and slow down getting the actual functionality working. Right, so what I want to do here is add another thing, and this might be a good time. When I say thing, I'm talking about a particular kind of thing. So we've got the blueprint editor panel, and here it's the parts manifest. So this might be a good time to actually get this thing laying out as a in a similar way to these things. So maybe I'll just click on here for a minute, grab the command palette. So that thing, you'll see it's got this grid layout group, and it's got 1x1 cells, and that's basically how that works. So I'll just grab that thing, and I'll add one of those grid layout components. And the cell sizes here are going to be, I was going to do them whatever size these are meant to be, but they've just been resized. resized by me putting that on there. I think they were bigger than that. But that's actually fine, I think. It's a reasonable size right there. And yeah, why not have that many? So this is cell size. So what are my sizes around here? So I've got this blueprint editor and this canvas is in world space. Can I just give that this camera? I should read up into this at some point. Keep vertex color in gamma space to allow gamma to linear color space conversion to happen in UI shaders. This will enhance UI color precision in linear color space. I mean, I don't know why I wouldn't do that unless there's a performance trade-off. Gets rid of that warning as well, which is nice. Oh, I see. I've got this canvas scaler here and dynamic pixels per unit. The amount of pixels per unit to use for dynamically created bitmaps in the UI, such as text. Okay. Reference pixels per unit. If a sprite has this pixels per unit setting, then 1 pixel in the sprite will cover 1 unit in UI. Okay. Yep, cool. And that's got the collider to make sure clicks don't go through. So it's a physics collider on there to catch clicks that, since I only want graphics raycasts to work here. And they're separate systems. Okay. Anyway, this is. Can I make them? That's about the size I had before, but actually I liked that 100 better. That was nicer, and we could just do vertical, so I can lay them out down here, and then it'll start another row if it needs. Another row, another column if it needs. Yeah, that looks fine. And this has a width of 211. Should only need 200 if it's got 2 rows of 100. Unless I've got some kind of padding in between. Now, is this padding for the whole group or just for each item? If I make this bottom padding 10, will they move further apart? No, don't think so. Okay, let's leave that like that then. And that'll do for that. And now I want to add another part card in here. So we can just duplicate that one. I don't really need to give these names. It'll just make it a little easier though. I think if I just call that one laser, and this one could be budget legs. The wheel, thinking about the wheel gave me the idea that it'd be interesting to have a set of legs that you can like increase speed by 1 or decrease speed by 1, and that's the commands that you give it. And maybe a command to brake. That way you could just have it like start going slowly and then just do a bunch of other commands and it'll just keep rolling forward. This one is going to be, excuse me. Oh, this is going to be the shield. So I'll just change this to have a different RoboPart here. It'll be the shield RoboPart right there. And the image is going to use shield shrink wrapped. Yep. And so that RoboPart card has everything except the sprite. I might add the sprite into those RoboPart cards because that would be really useful. Because then this component here could just read that sprite out of there and set it in its own image. That would be the same thing that gets passed through to these mount points. So I think I'll do that. I'll just add that to my list. I'll better test that works properly. There we go. That should be everything I need for that to actually work. Because these, click on that, the RoboParts have their appropriate attachment points. Mount point, yeah, so that should just work. Which is kind of the whole reason to have set up all of that in the first place. Because then I can just add things. It's why bother make all those enums and all the other code to do stuff instead of just have like a big if statement in the mount point. So now, yeah, the arms slide up because it's an arm mount point. And if I pop the shield on there, that's going on there. Interestingly, it's not like changing size. Like, will this one change size? Yeah, that one's changing size. And I think that's just because of the dimensions. I've got different width and height on here. So I might actually change the size of those mount points. So are they using a prefab mount point? Yes. So I just grab that mount point and the image is 160 by 100. So if I did 160 by 160, what happens if that goes to 100? Yeah. There. That should look better. So, have we got the chat working tonight? So what am I opening? No, what am I doing? I realized I haven't got chatty open, which at least gives me noises if there are Twitch messages. Still have been too busy to get something going with Stream Elements. Stream Elements? There's Stream Elements there. Restream is what I'm talking about. It'd be nice if I could figure out how to get Restream to make noises. Okay, so now putting that on there, yeah, that takes on a more appropriate size. And nothing's selected right now, so there. That's cool. I don't think that was showing before, the shields, because the RoboPart was not present in the list. Now, I've just been like manually creating one of these for each RoboPart, but it would be better if I had one place in the game where all of the RoboParts were registered and then just read all of them from there and just populated this list. rather than me having to create the RoboPart and then go and add it everywhere, which I guess because the sprite is separate, that's the reason why I need to right now. Anyway, actually, let me make a toggle button for this because I'm going to need that. So what am I doing here? I need to get out of that. So that's just for this Blueprint Editor UI. I just want to disable that by pressing a button. And why don't I just grab this canvas here and that's the dimensions of that canvas. Can I move that across a little bit and make it a bit wider? So if I make it, let's make it 12 actually, and not, I was going to say not move it across, but this is all going to be reworked. But now it's really just, I'm just fitting things in. And so this, I just want to set left to 1, and on this one, left to 1, and now we've got a bit of room there that I can put a little button or two. So, what toggle? Maybe a toggle would be a nice thing to have. There you are, toggle. Where's the toggle? What does the toggle look like? Oh yeah, there we go, toggle. And maybe just a regular button would be a good thing to have. That's a little better. So is that still showing this? I think that's going to mess it up to scale it and drag it tiny. There's these weird world space canvases that have got very small small stuff going on. I mean, I know what size to make this. Width 1, height 1, position X 0.5. Oh, that's. Can we just attach it to the there? Okay, 0.5 from there. There we are. Okay, now what's wrong with this toggle? Background, label. Just get that label bigger. I think just a button would look better. I know I said it's all temporary, but there is a minimum standard to go for. This is Blueprint Editor. Okay, right, so let's get its width down, get it anchored correctly to there. Oh, beautiful button. Okay, I might need to scale it to get its stuff working properly there. Got text here, auto, and I think that's our button just there. Yeah, lovely. Okay, so better get that. So scaling it down so that the sprite corners don't look horrible. I could just make my own. I could make my own little sprite actually for. Oh, it's that guy. Just duplicate that. Oh, not duplicate that. I mean, just get this guy out of the way. And do I want to try and be consistent with anything? Or do I just want to make a blueprint editor button? Let's use these colors. There we go, got some colors here to use. And what do I have selected here? An eraser. Interesting. Let's get a brush. What are we making? A button. Okay. Yes, we'll need some colors there. And maybe start with like some kind of filled rectangle. I want a picture of a blueprint, don't I? That's going to club the whole reference thingy. I just want the colors from that to be available. There we go. That'll be all the colors available. Back to there. That's possibly about an okay shape. Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, fix it later if it's broken. What do blueprints look like? They look like a rectangle. And they probably have like other rectangles and stuff on them. Oh, I like that. And also some like stuff like this, which is, as we all know, is called text. Some words. They've got a little box in the corner, don't they? That has words in it. There. And also some things like that referring to here. And oh yeah, that totally looks blueprinty. All right, I'm just going to add a bit of stuff, button chrome here, make it look precisely like a button. Actually, I think I'll do that side dark. And do light here and here. And just give it 50% alpha for there and there. It's actually cool. It's amazing how you just do some shapes and then it's stuff. And also, thank you for saying so. I'll just erase that. Why am I erasing like this? I will just select that and delete it. Yeah, I wonder how temporary all this temporary stuff will be. Oh, I need to darken that a little bit. Look at something a bit darker. There. And I guess something a little bit lighter for here, if we're being technically correct. All right, that'll do for that. Let's export that. That's hopefully still pointed at the same place. And there we go. So now instead of that thing that's not working very well, apparently I'm still trying to access an object of type image in somewhere. In Blueprint Editor, in Mount Point UI. But then it's like in an image. That is, the object of type image has been destroyed. That's an image that I looked up elsewhere. Okay, so it's a thing that needs fixing. That'll probably fix it, right? So if the value is null, and probably also the part image is not equal to null. Oh, no, thank you. There we go. So if the value is null, but also if the part image is not null and the part image isn't destroyed. So when would that be destroyed? I think only when I was like stopping this. Anyway, that should get rid of that warning in the future. Back to what I was doing. I'll just grab some art and get that blueprint button sprite sliced up. Okay. That thing has found its way in here. Explosion. Explosion head guy. Why did I get a ding there? I will do a thumbs up on that. That is an improvement from before. Right, so slice. Yes, grid by cell size. Method. Safe. Yes, that's what I want. So that should be sliced here, and I can rename this one blueprint button. That'll do, and I'll better name that one Explosion Headman, and play. All right. Now where am I? Let's grab this blueprint editor button, and here we will use blueprint button. And I'll just get rid of this text. And now I will debug. Why can I not see this? Its position is there. Is it because it's at the wall? Where is this located? Z0. This is at Z0, so it shouldn't be related to that. Let's go back to 2D view. Wait. It's the scaling. There's the tiny button. It's a microfilm button. Oh, we want a regular size. So let's just go with the scale of 1. And there we go. Okay, so as a button, this has a button here. And I think the size determines its hitbox. So, yeah, simple button. Raycast padding, that might be useful. What units is this in with this one? Oh yeah, I can see that. And we want it about there. 0.16, 0.15, 0.14. Okay. Now I can see if I drew it square. So far so good. I did draw it square. Oh, there we go. That's if I was ever stuck without the ability to measure things while drawing digitally, apparently it would work. Yeah, that should basically work except for the bit where it doesn't have any on-click associated with it. So let's add one. And we're just going to say it is the blueprint editor. Don't mind me, I've just forgotten how to read words and I can't see the blueprint editor anymore. It is... There it is. Gone forever until I found it. Okay, and then I just want to do a standard game object set active. Oh. I don't think I can just toggle that. I think I have a script that I wrote for a different project that will toggle. There's got to be. It's a bit. Oh wait, was this something that I was thinking? Basically, I just want this to set the canvas to active or not. Just toggle it, and I've got set active that I can hard code it with a boolean, and that's basically all I've got that's any use. And so for now, I'll just make that set it active, and then I can just add a close button on the panel itself that gets toggled. So grab that, and so that's my panel. And yeah, I'll just do a close button. There. Get rid of that text on there and replace the sprite. pretty dodgy. Close icon that I can use. Can put that up there, put it down there, but then it's not actually on the canvas. But that's traditional. I'll keep it there. That looks really janky. It's not a good use case for a little sprite like that. I think maybe a quarter of a unit should be reasonable size target. I'll just bring it down to about there. Yeah, that should be reasonably clickable. Right. So that's going to be basically the same thing. That thing. Game object, set active. False. There. Yep. That's fine. Yeah, I can test those buttons. And I'll just need to make sure this is inactive by default. Oh, I've done that, by the way. So I'll delete that. Well, I have to delete that after it's not in play mode. Okay, so I should be able to close that and open it and close it. And we're all good. Can see the action going on here. What's going on with this row down here? Why are they all the way over here? Do they have a different routine or something? Just walk and shoot. And they've got a laser? Just hang on, that says shield laser. I'm going to close this and select something else because those have a shield and a laser. Okay, they don't have a shield, they've just got a laser. So now I'll select the one that has no shield and then open this. And there we go. It does seem to work. So double shields. Some of these. Wait, what's this one? Oh, just no weapons, just walk forward. No wonder they're struggling. It would be lovely if this button just toggled that open and closed. But I'll fix that later. That's polish. So these have got a shield, but they're not using it. Let's go walk, shoot, block, block, shoot. See how that goes. It's still hilarious that they just walk into each other. Are they successfully blocking anything? I don't quite think so. Well, should be looking on the magnifier here. I mean, they don't seem to be making much forward progress. I think maybe a different configuration. Maybe just block, block, shoot. There. See how that goes. This selection box kind of hides the bar. I should move that bar up a little bit. These ones here, they should be doing a lot more blocking instead of none, considering that all they have is shields. they should probably just do. Is 4 too many? Will that work? I think maybe do the walking after the blocking. That one there may never walk though. It may just be. Well, it only took half damage from collision. There we go. So it's damaged its two comrades by not moving. Oh, the timing's just terrible. Just happens to walk right when the other one is going to run into it. So maybe, let's see, 1, 2, 3 walk. Maybe it'll be blocking by the time the enemy gets there. Yeah, it got one. So that's a good spot, but now the timing's off for the next one. So now I think I need the fourth one there, and oh, I think this guy's another non-walker. No, I got it in time. But yeah, the just shields strategy on its own, possibly not great. I probably need to have two cooperating things. And also, like, they only get one shield because of how I coded it right now. But they should have two based on the blueprint. Right, that's enough of randomly playing, because I wasn't trying to do that. I was just testing that this can open and close, which it can, so that's good. It would be very, very easy to make a little toggle active script. This is kind of like a button, a thing for buttons to hook into. I'm going to keep it simple. I was just starting to think about making this a set of utility things, but it's just one, really. Just one on its own. That's standalone and will work fine. And I don't know what that's got to do with anything. Why are you doing anything except just opening this in here? Now we open it. There it is. All right, so this is literally, it doesn't need anything in here except for a public don't need any of this stuff. Toggle active, which will take the set active, and we don't want false. We want active. Not the same. We went not active. Active self, active in hierarchy. Okay, we want active self, I think. So that way, like, it'll set this one active without necessarily affecting the rest of the hierarchy. And it'll be based on just whether this particular thing is active. Now, this has the same name. as the type. So I will rename this. And then to close whatever's making those dings. Okay, we'll name that toggle game object active. And I'll document it. Okay, it looks like maybe it is over there. All those things are coming in because I left something open I shouldn't have. And just pop that there and then grab this. Yep. And close that and close that. I don't know why I have that open. Yep. All right, there we go. Where are we? Yep. Magnifier back here. Yep. So I'm super tempted to start yet another game because it kind of resonates a lot. Ties in a lot of concepts that I want to include in things. But there's also quite a large scope. So I might need to do some design work on that first to make sure that it's not going to be a problem. As in a scoping problem where I'll just end up starting a project that's going to take 20 years and never ends up getting finished. Right, that was called toggle game object active. There. And now I should be able to get that script, access that script in this button here. So instead of game object, it's in that one, and it's this toggle active. So now it should just toggle the state of that. And that's just reusable on anything that I want to have toggled. Let's hope it works. It works. There we are. Wonderful. What it doesn't do is let the button have a different state depending on whether that's open or not. But that's okay. I can work on that later. All right. So let me just have a look at my to-dos here. I added a shield. I'm deleting that item. Drag out as a way to remove. I think I'll do that first. Include sprite on the RoboParts scriptable object. So we got Robo Blueprint, RoboPart, RoboPart here. Good, and we want a sprite, right? This is the sprite for the UI, but that's okay. I can actually just put that as an inspector label. There we go, just to make it clear that that's for the UI. And then I'll take the RoboParts that I've already defined. like these budget legs and give them this budget legs shrink wrapped and a laser. Give that one a laser shrink wrapped. I haven't got an underscore for these ones, but that one does have an underscore. Inconsistent. Standard legs do not have anything yet, so I need to kind of make that. I can do it quick and dodgy for that by just grabbing these legs here. So I'll get like, can I add a new one here without just selecting that one. See, doing that just moves that, which is not what I want to do. Control and that. That seems to maybe duplicate that. Holding shift doesn't seem to do what I want. Oh, I don't think it's duplicating it actually. Well, why don't I just move that then and just make a new one? Then I can move this one back there, and then I can get the new one. I can't get the new one. I'll leave that over there for a while. Grab this. Don't think it was designed particularly with. I'll just do there actually. There. Yep, that'll do. I don't think this was very designed with having overlapping sprites in mind, which is fine. Okay. I also realize I need to give this one its name. Standard legs. Let's do that as well. I am not going to. I don't think I'm going to stick with this shrink wrapped terminology. I think I will just make if I stick with 2D and sprites, then I'll probably just make the proper sprite and cut it out in an appropriate way to use in all of the places. Okay, there we go. Standard legs. Don't need to apply anything there. And now back to my RoboParts, because I was just giving these standard legs a sprite that I could select. Okay, so they've all got things in them now. So now I should be able to go into my blueprint editor. I'm going to go ahead and move my routine editor. No, I'll move my blueprint editor up right next to my routine editor here, since it's quite related. All right, so now in here, in one of these, instead of having that sprite, I'll just select a different sprite here. I'll grab a placeholder sprite on purpose, and that is because now I'll get my RoboPart card script. There we are. And just define a start here, and it's going to get its image. Yeah, that might actually Wait, where does the set? Wait, I've already got start down here. And it's just looking it up. So let's get that out of there. So instead, we want our RoboPart .sprite, and we actually want to set that sprite. There. And so now that's the sprite, which we don't actually need. That's just duplicating what's in there. Private, so we don't really need to set that actually. Just get is going to give RoboPart.sprite. So we don't need to set that. But now where we're actually using this, can we find all references? Find all references, Shift F12. That's what I wanted there. Okay, so we got and blueprint editor and the mount point. And just locally. Okay, well, let's take a look at that one. This is in Blueprint Editor. We want to get the sprite for a card. Get part sprite for a RoboPart. Who is calling this? That is being called from here. And we shouldn't need that now, because oops. So I'll just duplicate that first. I like to kind of keep my old line around, but basically instead of all of that, it should just be RoboPart.sprite, and that's kind of the whole point there. And let's go back to the card there. And just grab that again. Okay, so let's get part sprite that we don't need to call. We've got our RoboPart here. So we should just be able to do RoboPart.sprite. Okay, and here. There, so that's what I was originally setting out to write just then. And okay, back to that one again. Just find the references to that. Not referenced, so don't need it. Shouldn't need it. Yeah, because RoboPart, like this could be implemented as that, which is basically useless at this point. There. Cool, so that also kind of solves the problem of how I had the janky way that these sprites were being basically this component here was looking through these components to find all the sprites, and then this component here could ask that component for those sprites. Now it's just whatever gets dropped there, the RoboPart that it has the sprite in it. Okay, so that's good. Back to RoboPart card. What was I doing? So that should be setting the sprite now as soon as I run it, which means that those two should still have the correct sprite. That one should have, that one should get its proper sprite. And also if I just make another of these and make that one be standard legs. Not that I'll need to necessarily create all of these manually when yeah, that can keep explosion headman because that will show that stuff that I just set up working. Yeah, I shouldn't need to manually create these if I just put a bit of code to do that. There we go, got my standard legs. Yep, they're a leg mount part, or there's that one. So that should be working now. And it should, oh, I haven't done anything to make it affect the routine editor. So now, basically with this configuration, standard legs and the laser and shield, that should give these full set of buttons here. But if I were to like not have a shield, the block button wouldn't be there. Like you wouldn't be able to add that to the routine because it would not work. And if you put the legs, those legs there, you wouldn't be able to have to turn left or right, left or left. At some point I'll fix that jankiness as well. There probably should be just a hacky quick workaround I could do would be to have a thing here, and then what you drag is actually a child of that, and it's got another one behind it that you don't drag that stays there, so that it doesn't like remove it from the list. Should be the same thing here. I can fix that, but it's not a big deal right now. Cool. Okay, that's this done. I have included the sprite, so I'll get rid of that. Drag items away to remove. So that is an interesting one. I haven't made a commit for a while, but I'm just not in the mood for it lately. Do that in the near future. Okay, we have our mount points there. Okay, so mount point and an image nested under it. They've got their image there as well. Okay, so I could take that image nested under and give it a drag, or maybe the mount point itself. I don't know. So I guess if I look at the normal configuration, okay, so normally I'll hold this and it highlights the points. Oh, so something I just thought of is when I'm holding this, moving it towards this point, I get the points highlighting, right? And then when I let go of it, it'll drop on there. It would be really nice if, let's say that I had one on here and then I picked it up, and if that was highlighting at the time, it would also be nice if you grab the small one and it sort of would resize if it needs to that size. So that might be an interesting thing to sort of tie together here. Maybe when you drag this from here, it's actually got some kind of parent object that has this in here. When you drag it out of there, that actually makes the parent object like create a new one. And then this is something that endures and stays there on the mount point. The mount point just reports what was dropped on it, but the card stays there, so then you can pick it up again and drop it somewhere else. And if you drop it anywhere other than on a mount point, or if you drop it anywhere other than a mount point, then it will be destroyed. That doesn't seem too difficult. So that basically means that to implement drag items away to remove, I'll need to another thing, which is, and that will actually solve the thing I was just showing before, where the list of items gets has the thing that you're dragging out of it removed, even though you're not actually removing it, you're just getting a copy of it across. So that is use a nested structure. Cards. Pin card. With draggable leg. Hang on. Nested draggable. For part cards, right? There we go. So they could have a nested draggable. So that would mean that where we have, I'll just get the prefab for that here. And there's the prefab. So we've basically just got like a canvas environment that it's in, and it is the RoboPart card that has the image and everything on it. Instead, the draggable icon and everything else that's here will be on the child. Like so. And that would actually be that 160 by 100 is the default size from the other thing. Okay, so I kind of want to move this into here. Cool. I haven't really done that before, but did that just put that up here so it'll line up? Did that just copy everything? Oh, canvas renderer is also there. Okay. That looks the same. So that's pretty cool. It's obviously positioned in a weird way. Because it's 100 by 100. I think if that was 160, it'd be fine. It would line up. And then this one. Now, I think I need to basically split RoboPart card because it has the drag and drop stuff, but it's also got this sprite setting thing. And yeah, I think the card is what has the draggable thing on it. So this thing's going to have the RoboPart in it. I'll have a look at the card first. So it's got that RoboPart in it, which can be accessed from other things that might actually need to move. And that sprite property, I don't think is actually accessed anymore. Is that right? Yeah, nowhere. So I'll remove it for simplicity. Okay, definitely the drag stuff needs to go elsewhere. And this is going to be something else instead. And also we want to sort of have the parent be informed when a drag starts. So I think I'll just put this here for the moment. RoboPart card child, that can be. And that will actually have all of these. I will think of a better name for that, I think, at some point. Yep. All right, so I'm going to just grab all these drag things straight into here. First of all. Okay, that's got RoboPart on there, so yeah, this thing does need RoboPart to be set. Give that a RoboPart like that. Oops. Talk to the mic there. What does that do? Try it again. Yeah, that does do a volume spike. Okay, how am I going for time, by the way? Yeah, I'm going okay. Yeah, so we've got this set just by dragging it onto this thing. But this thing, we don't want to have those on there. And we might not even want to do this, because all the places that are reading this, they'll actually want to read it off here. And also, I want to make, like, create one of these. Make new child. So just whenever you drag one off there, it'll make a new one. And so that's actually going to need to either have a prefab to make that from, or yeah, I think I want a prefab. So it's going to need a prefab for that. I think I actually want to just put the prefab in one place. Oh wait, this is so. Hang on, is this nested prefabs? No, I don't think so. Not if it's a prefab that just has a field that is a reference to another prefab. So that should be fine. But I do want to think of a different name here, but basically it's going to have this either directly on it, or I can read it from somewhere. There, we'll just call that prefab there. child. Now we'll instantiate child prefab and put our transform in as the parent, so it'll probably be a child. And that will be a type of RoboPart cut child. I think that means that I can put a prefab that has one of those components. Pretty sure. Oh, is that not needed? Wait, I'm going to remove this bit and just see if it infers the type without me prefixing that. Yeah, it does seem to know based on that type. That's good. So we're making the child, and that child needs to have its RoboPart set. And this is a place where, like right now, I could give this backing field that is local to the file keyword. What am I doing? There. Just have to stop holding shift. You can't use file modifier, file level access. Okay, I wonder what that is valid for. I saw that one recently. I haven't read too deeply into it. What do I want here? I'll just make it public. Well, I'll just make this not read-only. That'll be easy. That's the easiest way. Okay. Okay, good. So we make the child. Now we want child.RoboPart to equal RoboPart. So it'll instantiate, and it'll set that, and then now basically anytime that is set, there we go. Do this. Oops, too many buttons. Now. Okay, so to set this, let me just maybe lay that out a little bit more sensibly. Okay. So to set this guy, we will get that more consistent with the others. That's not usually my preferred indentation style, but it's what's automatically happening here, so I'll just run with it to keep it consistent. Yes, so we want to set RoboPart to value, but we also need to set our image to the correct thing. So I will get an image component. There we go, set that to that. Is that all that needs to do? I think so. So that's cool. So I think just makes it, sets that on there, and then I'll also need to, so this is just reporting what happens, and basically, if this wasn't dropped on something, on a mount point, delete it. So I've got the mount point drop code. The mount point will handle it. So the mount point should just get it snapped on as a child if that happens. I might make the background of the blueprint editor itself have code to take a drop, so it'll just delete the thing that was dropped off it. Now, how do I detect when a child has started dragging? I think it needs to go here and tell the parent. So that's the parent. Or it could be, hold on. Or it could be a mount point, couldn't it? Could be either of those things. So inform the parent that you've been dragged away, and that actually, I think I might do that in a more generic way, not even here, because these things are also draggable icon. So what I could do is have that, a general functionality of that, where it will call on a parent. So these are just like snapping back into their original parent. That's the behavior that we're getting here. But that's not what I want if I've just spawned a new one. Ideally, I wouldn't mess with this. But I think here, where did we get original parent? Yeah. There. So what we can do is make a particular type here for the parent. Interface. I'll name that better at some point. So if I have some kind of as draggable icon child, so maybe just a draggable icon parent interface, and do it like that. Generate an interface. There. So this is okay. So basically, this is just going to have a thing. Let me just find that draggable icon again. Got too many things open, haven't I? There's draggable icon. Just bring that over. Oh, I won't apparently. There we go. Bring that over here. So this is, these things have on begin drag, on drag, and on end drag. So I think child begin drag. And child end drag. There we go. So now it's just a thing that has those methods in there. And can't make them optional, right? So now basically just if it did find one of those, then we will child begin drag. I could even give it the child. Yeah, because then find out which child it was. You don't need the event data, I think. Okay, let's go back to that child. What kind of thing is this draggable icon? Of course. They should know what their child is. What if they have more than one? Then you can find out which. Okay. There we go. And we'll just do the same thing on child end, like in on end drag. Now, there I'm doing that before I set a different parent, because that's where I get transformed to a parent. Yep, that's fine. Yeah, now that's setting the parent back to there. I'm just thinking about sometimes we want things to maybe go back where they came from. Sometimes we don't. Would it be useful to have, if we do that, oh, hang on, transform to parent. Yeah, we actually want the original parent. Which actually, that remind myself that was set as transform to parent. Yes, so we don't actually need to use transform to parent. We can use that original parent. Original, like meaning the start of the drag, not necessarily the original ever. So yeah, so okay. So that means then that the RoboPart card, that should be a draggable icon parent, meaning it should implement those interface members. And now child begin drag. This is where we want to create a new child. I think I can do that with this. Oh, and I probably wanted to do that on start as well. So then they can start without one. They just need the prefab. All right, and so I don't need it to do there because that looks like it'll do it. And here, probably don't care. Not sure if we care. We might need to handle destroying them or something. It's sort of going to depend how I handle all that coordination of dropping things somewhere. Yeah. All right, so far we need the prefab for the child. So this thing doesn't need that image anymore. So I'll remove that. Oh. Yeah. There, so these actually belong down here. Instead. Ah, man, I just remembered something that someone had asked me that I started replying to. Better make myself a sticky note. All right, there we go. Just put that there, and I might remember. There's a chance at least. So I need to finish up soon. Hopefully I can get this all tied together. So I I've got, when this starts, it should be making a new child. It should not be setting a sprite. It should just be making a new child. And I might need to do some positioning or something there. This has the RoboPart in the child. Also, if a child begins drag, it does that. It might need to, it's going to have too many children. Now this RoboPart card child. Call this draggable RoboPart. There we go. Okay, now it has got a setter. Set that sprite in its image when the RoboPart gets set. So that should be straight after instantiation. And it's doing this. Yeah, that's the thing I need to do. Okay, now I should also grab this out to its own. Its own file. Right. And I haven't implemented that interface on mount point yet. That'll be just for dragging them. Well, will the mount point care? Yeah, probably, possibly. Okay. So scripts. Yes, that's the draggable, and that's the regular. So we've got this thing. Still has its image, which we'll remove because we don't want that anymore. It's got the card. It hasn't got a child prefab yet because I haven't made one. And this doesn't actually need draggable icon script. This does. But maybe I handle that back out here. So we've got our parts there. They've got that child nested underneath by the look of it. So I'll just pull that out of there for now. Okay, I think I'll just unpack this one. So then I can grab this and just make it draggable RoboPart. Okay, so there we go. So that's our draggable RoboPart, which has the draggable icon script automatically, and it has an image, and we're just using that laser shrimp grabbed by default. Okay, so that belongs as a child of that one, really. And then I guess I would position it relative to that. Plus X50. Oh yeah, I see Y50 because that's 100. Where's Y49? Negative 49 to put it there. Or we could just anchor it in the center. And it would be 0 and 1. 0, 0. Or Do we want to stretch it? We've got preserve aspect on there, so I think we're okay to... No, I don't want to stretch, actually, because then what happens when we start dragging it? What size would it have? Would probably depend on the parent. Yep. So I'll rename that. Like that. Put that in my prefabs. Here. And then I'll grab that RoboPart card prefab. And just set that in there. Yep, seems happy with that. Good. And all those look wrong, but that's okay. So what have I ended up with in that prefab then? You don't actually want the child anymore. And so it's really just this thing, which I'll actually just make it 100 by 100 naturally so that it fits. I don't know if these numbers actually matter. I might zero them out sometime. And it's just got a laser by default. That seems okay. Let's see how that's affected these guys. I'll just remove that one. And I'll probably have these, start to have these get just automatically created. So that one's set to laser. Standard legs, budget legs and shield. I'll put the laser there. Why not? Okay. This should be the moment of truth. Although the mount point's going to be trying to get a RoboPart card, not a draggable RoboPart. I think when it gets the drop event. So that might not work. There we go. That's made another pair of legs. When I let go, it'll drop those back in there. So I should have unstandard legs. I expect to have 2 now because I'm not destroying them. And even if I drop them back here, I still would destroy one or the other of them. But that's fine. Let me try dropping it in here. And yep, that seems to have not worked. Yep, has no RoboPart card. And actually, that's exactly where I want to go, right? I want to go there. Is that working? Double click. There. We want actually a draggable RoboPart. There. Now we've named that RoboPart card. Let's call that instead. There, so now it's expecting that. It gets one. Checks the mount point. I think maybe here I could destroy it. So there would be one place it gets destroyed where it's been dropped on a mount point, but it's not valid. And otherwise, instead of setting an image stuff here, just become the parent of part it into position. And then this might not even need to have that. It might just be able to keep its reference to that part that's in there, or if it even needs it. Because who's reading RoboPart off here? So this is basically dealing with sprite related stuff. Wouldn't need that anymore. So yeah, might not need that. Oh, but I'll deal with that later because I am a bit over time. It feels like a bit of a bland one this time. This stream, but oh well, sometimes it's like that. Just need to push through, get things working. So where am I at here? Yes, accepting a drop. So yeah, why don't I just destroy that right now? Does that work? Or do I want like .game object on that? I think it kind of works the same, whether you give it a mono behavior or a game object. There we go. I needed to delete all those spaces individually, didn't I? Not at all. All right. Good. So that'll be destroyed. Now I kind of need to stop the on drag end from happening. Wonder if there's anything about that somewhere. Something like that. Oh, that little thing means should have finished by now. So let me see what I can do in the last few minutes of that. Just make sure the minutes don't turn into hours. Dragging handles handle actual dragging. Pointer handlers handle the clicking on and releasing. This doesn't seem like something I'm going to find an answer to how it was done. Pretty sure. So this is when something gets dropped on there, and then the end drag happens afterwards. And the end drag then is calling something. So basically, I think if it is destroyed, then it shouldn't do anything. Basically, I want it to not set its parent when it gets dropped. Oh, I was going to say I wanted to not set its parent when it gets dropped, but really, if I look in draggable icon here, right? On end drag, it's setting a parent to a particular parent. It's that this original parent is set on begin drag. So one thing I could do is basically have that be not private, have that be settable, and then it could begin the drag, and then when it gets dropped on something, that thing can basically tell it to look, it can set a different place for it to end up. So different parent, different sibling index, and so on. Hello, Ameripon. I was supposed to be working on finishing up because I'm about at time, but making this robot game, working on this UI here, which is for deciding what parts go on a robot. And I'm just kind of changing how it works a little bit so that it'll be a bit more sensible in how it's structured. So these robots get generated. These guys have a shield and a laser. They just have a laser. That's coming from what's here. This one should have two shields, but it just has one because of how I implemented it. And this right now, so this kind of works, but also kind of does some weird stuff, I think. Or may do some weird stuff soon. Yep, they just keep spawning and they just follow their routine too. So, like if you go, I want you to walk forward, turn that way, then turn that way and walk forward again, they'll start to do weird stuff. I didn't try to. Let me have a look here. Oh, this is the little like wheel that I only have a sprite for. I haven't actually attached it onto there, but it's the budget legs, which is just a bicycle wheel. So yeah, it doesn't quite line up properly or anything. All of the assets are placeholders. I just get a little carried away with my placeholders sometimes. But I've just been changing how it works. So these guys here, now when you drag them away, they don't disappear. They're adding a new one of those, and I'm trying to make, well, I'm in the middle of making it so that when you drop these on here, it actually attaches as a child rather than what it's doing at the moment, I think, which is something else. Where are we? Blueprint editor. We're in our mount points. Oh, yeah, that's the leg mount point there probably. And it's just got an image that's showing those instead of actually having the dragged thing snap onto there, which is where I'm headed for. Yes. Yeah, that's kind of why my streams start as late as they do. I would have a bit more time if it were only parenting in Unity. But basically, I've got a generic trackable thing that snaps them back to where they should, to where they were, and I don't want that to happen anymore. But that might be okay. I was just thinking about how to handle that. The hacky way is to just set the original parent and sibling index and position to the mount point in the drop handler. Oh, wait. I didn't know that magic existed. That could have made things a bit easier. I mean, well, it's not so much. I need one for older than babies because the things that used to work stop working, or they keep working, but you're not strong enough to just walk around holding a 20-something kilo human. I know a way to solve this, but I want to find a different way that is not as it's not as hacky. I mean, basically, that was a while ago now. I would like to say it gets easier, but it just gets different. Specific things get easier, and then new things come up. Certainly gets fun though. So I think basically I kind of might just need a different version of this draggable script that doesn't do that. Doesn't do that stuff. And maybe I just don't even need, like, I've just been doing that, which is set to true. And that's just a really simple that. And I don't really need any of the snapping back to parent stuff for this one. So I think I need to make these not a draggable icon anymore. And so that's what I'll do. I'm just going to merge these two together. I'll just put this maybe down here somewhere. Where's my there thing? So make this not require draggable icon component. I'll remove that at some point. And now I can just take the bits that I want. Like none of that. That one, yes. Does this one have a start yet? No. Oh god, that's janky scrolling. Okay, so I'll grab that. I don't like to do a lot of copy pasting because it sidesteps reuse, but in this case, yeah, it's something pretty simple. What do we got here? Oh yeah. I do have lights in here. I just didn't feel like using them. These are all board games and card games up here. Hero Quest is possibly the most expensive item, only because of its age. But yes, I think I'm actually going to be playing some of those in a few days. Not a few days, next weekend. I was having board game days every month, just to kind of get around the fact that I forget that all my friends exist most of the time if they are not directly in front of me. That allowed me to catch up with people without having to have superpowers like remembering people who I can't see right this moment, things like that. Yeah, those are what are the board games I have. There is a long list, but to summarize, a bunch of Catan and a bunch of expansions, Battlestar Galactica, Zombicide, Sheriff of Nottingham, Carcassonne, Hero Quest. Five Tribes isn't mine, but it's been here a long time, belongs to a sibling. And then a bunch of other kind of ones for the kids, like throw burrito, unstable unicorns. Oh, and I've got Risk somewhere here behind some burritos, and I'm sure there are more as well. There are others hiding back there. Oh yeah, I've only kept a few game boxes, and I don't know where they are. It's like a Total Annihilation box. I've got Quake. I've got a Creatures 3 box as well. There's a copy of Black and White back there as well. But I haven't kept many boxes from things. Just a few. I'm sure there's a Creatures 3 box hiding somewhere, but it might not have found its way onto this shelf since the last time I moved. Yeah, I make card and board games as well as these. I haven't done any streaming of that. I need to get a better camera set up or something. All right, what am I doing? I'm in the middle of copying this over here. So, yes, game development is fun, regardless whether it's digital or otherwise. All right, so on begin drag. Now I don't need to get my original position or anything. I do want to do this because that's what's actually telling the parent it's time to create something. So let's grab that. And it does it at the time the drag starts because there could be something else. And that is reporting to the blueprint editor that there is a part being dragged. And oh yeah, that's specifically for draggable icon. I'm going to change how this, yeah, I'll change that interface to be for the draggable RoboPart parent. I'll rename that. And remove it from here. Oh, I guess I can keep that one. And I'll make another one because that could be useful for those draggable icon types. And we do want this because it might stop some issues. And we do want to set that raycast target there. There we go. Yeah, there are some places around for me locally with board games, but I just don't have the time to go anywhere. Yeah, it's sort of unfortunately not a lot of support. I don't have anyone that I can go, here are some tiny humans and I trust you with them. And so it's pretty much whatever I can play here. As the little ones get older, that'll probably open up the possibilities. Yeah, well, actually, using paper and dice, I should move this cursor over here. This is what I'm talking about. Yeah, good thing about, like, if you have a concept for a game, if you can make the game using dice, paper, pencils, if it's hard to make it fun in that format, unless it's like an action game where the action is the fun, then it might be that that the game itself isn't going to be that much fun, and making it digital won't solve that. But again, unless the something that you can do on screen, such as the action or the visuals, are the whole kind of core of the game. So yeah, I think it's a good exercise, and that's just my brain just wants to invent games constantly, and which is why I end up with a lot of prototypes, and why I'm working on this game when I do have another one that I'm meant to be making the menus for. Yeah, well, good thing about also about physical things for a game jam is sometimes, like if you have a game jam that's just 1 or 2 days, you can lose a big chunk of time just to some weird random technical issue, and that's something that you're not going to hit as much with pencil and paper. So yeah, I do have a few. You can really throw a working card or board game together really quickly when you need to. Like I've had times when I've gone, oh, I've only got enough cards here for like fewer players than I've got. I'll just quickly make some more. And I do have kind of like a little bag with some card game prototyping stuff in it that I carry around sometimes. Yeah, that's the sketchbook of mechanics is that's yeah, I kind of stopped using sketchbooks because they would fill up too quickly and it ended up with too many of them, and then it ended up disorganized. And I think it's worse now without using them though, so I'm not sure what the logic was there. Okay, what am I doing here? I'm going to get this working. So that's doing the right thing there. See, yeah, I'm kind of duplicating some stuff here, but I guess it's really just the fact that maybe this draggable icon should have had something. Now this on drag just needs to be no, I don't want to call it on mouse drag. I literally want it to be called this. Thank you very much. Don't know where you learned that. And just use this thing. Group that to get our pause. And then we're using that RoboParts to do what? We're clamping it within min and max X. Size RT. Break transform of that. Okay, there's too much going on here for me to be copy pasting all of this. On the other hand, I should have finished up already, so let me just quickly get that working. Yeah. Where's that to do? Looks like this code actually does that. So, yeah. Just calling this raw. Yeah. Yes. That does not sound good. I thankfully have not had that kind of experience. Although it sounds like these are maybe mixed notebooks. I tend to have just games and game mechanics in notebooks, so a little bit safer. All right. So let me at least cut this down a bit So we've got rig transform of our ancestor and a position and size of that, and we're getting a min and max from that for X and Y. And doing some stuff, clamping that, and then doing some logging, which we don't need, and setting that to that. Okay, so that's kind of like fix me duplicated from draggable icon. There we go, so at least have a clue to go in and deduplicate between these two. Oh, I did miss some of your messages there. Yes, that's the other point. Yeah, I actually still have a few journals. I did used to write a lot. It helped me get my thoughts, like sort of hold on to my thoughts. They tend to fly away somewhat. That's probably the ADHD. Too many thoughts all kind of climbing on top of each other, so it's hard for one of them to stay at the forefront long enough to actually process things properly. So writing helped a lot with that. And I don't have any particular reason to have stopped. So I probably should try to get back to that. I guess other than the fact that I just write a lot now and like just for work and other hobbies. So it's just a lot of writing. Okay, so on and drag here. I don't want to actually do any of that stuff. I just want to do this. And maybe figure out how to do that. And yeah, I'm not doing any parent setting here. So good. So now that's basically, that gives me this that I will go into my prefab. Oh wait, let me make that other interface first. So I've got this thing here, and I basically want to make something very similar, but it does not snap back into place. I mean, sorry, just not for the draggable icon that snaps back into place, but instead this is going to be for draggable RoboParts parent, and that's going to be draggable RoboPart. And, you know, I could make these generic on the type of child, but that would not work with doing get component stuff to get these particular types. Okay, so here, now we're trying to get a draggable RoboPart parent, and now this is the correct type of thing. So that's good. And now I also need my RoboPart card to be that type of thing. Okay. So then if that becomes that, that will now satisfy that interface. And yeah, when you drag that off, does that. And right now we're not caring about when that child ends its drag, because we're hoping that something will destroy it, or it'll destroy itself if needed. but we'll figure that out. I could actually make this RoboPart card accept a drop of its own child and just destroy the child since it's already made a new one the moment you started dragging it. Okay, so where have I come so far? I've made that do that. Okay, so now I'm moving this back further over here. So yeah, so this is where it gets dropped. So I was so we don't want to do anything with that now. Having that sprite on there is going to be really useful. Blueprint editor. Yep, we do want to call that. It's basically reporting to the blueprint editor that something's been mounted, and it will update the blueprint with that. Awesome. Have a good movie night. I should not have one of those now. Oh, what's that? Oh, thanks for the follow. I still don't know what those noises mean, other than I know they mean look at my preview there, which I wish I had a bit bigger. And yes, have a good evening. I need to get my head in the game so that I can finish this up. So yes, we are becoming the parent of this thing now. There we go, we make it a child. And do we set the position to our position? I think so. There, either that or I set its local position to 0. Either way. We don't need to set the sibling index like the other thing does. So that should actually like mount that there, and then we don't do anything with this sprite because that's not how we're doing that anymore. The only thing is that when we select a factory, it will do something with that sprite. So I won't select a factory for now. So hopefully that means that I can drag parts onto and off there. And then I better finish the rest of it later. All right. So I'll get these legs, put them here. Okay, it has legs. Now, let me try and drag them away. Nothing. Okay, definitely does not seem to be any dragging happening here. I'll just pause this and try to figure out what's going on. So that's the blueprint editor panel. We've got our point diagram. The part manifest has the parts. So this time I think we'll only have got the standard legs, and they've only got one part under there, which is good. That's what we want and expect. And now for, I think that's the leg mount point. Now we have an image. What we expect to have is a draggable RoboPart clone. So that has an image under there. Image, image, image. Are there any other random legs or something hanging around? Oh, over here. Interesting, interesting. Okay. So we've got that draggable RoboPart here. Same position as that, I think. I'm just going to grab that and move that. All right, interesting. So this has an image. It's got standard legs. It's positioned there. Just testing, like if there's any reason it's not rendering. To do with set positions or anything like that. Oh, it's still got the draggable icon. Okay, that'd be why. All right, so let me grab the prefab for draggable RoboPart and get rid of draggable icon because that is doing behavior on there that I don't want. Now let's see what happens. So I think that it was being moved back to its parent somehow, but not properly. Okay. Okay, that's the one that I should be moving. And it's just not being draggable here. So it might not be doing what I need. Do I have anything happening in the console? So now we've got these things, and they're draggable RoboPart, but not a draggable icon. And let me just check that I've got. So I've got begin and end drag handler. Oh, but I don't have. I've still got draggable icon open here. No. There is a drag handler too. Begin drag, drag, and end drag. Okay, so that might mean that we actually get our drag events, which would help it to move along during drag. Okay, yes, that can now move. And all right, that has actually been dropped on there here, and we got the image as well being set. But hey, that's progress. It's also small. Oh, probably it's scale 111 width 100, height 100. And so it needs its width and height to be set as well. All right, so that should be in mount point UI with So it's doing that stuff. So we'll just grab its rect transform. And what's the width on a rect transform? I was computing something about that in here. It should have, yeah, this thing. Size delta. It's a vector 2 that has our width and height. Okay. There. That's my size. And now I want my own size delta. So I'll get my own, this component's own mount point, rect transform. Yep, there we go. And then I basically just want the other rect transform dot size delta to equal that size. So set it to that size. That could work. These names are terrible, but so I don't need that. I guess I'll just call that one rect transform. Yep, that'll do for now. That'll hopefully get it to the right size. And then I haven't dealt with removing that RoboPart when it gets dropped. But I might do that next time. Just put it in my little set of to-do objects. Okay, so now if I drag a laser onto there, yes, it becomes big enough. It also has still got an image showing up there. So what's doing that? I think there's something else, something external, like some other bit of code that's making that image show up. Excuse me. So maybe this one, when you set the RoboPart here. Yeah, that's what it is. Now we can't create the card here. We don't have the prefab for it. So I probably need to make a factory that will create the cards for me. Just do that. And that, because we don't need to set that sprite anymore, since we're just using the card to represent it, or the draggable RoboPart. to represent the RoboPart. And this one here. We shouldn't be using part image at all, basically. But I'll just leave it there for the moment. And I think this is the part where it, when you select something, when you select a factory, it shows what was selected. So I think we're going to need some kind of a fix me. Probably that card is missing me set up in the factory. Well, it's not a RoboPart card, it's a draggable RoboPart. So yeah, I'll just need like a factory. Factory in the programming sense, not in the sense of these things that chain out robots. Yep. I mean, I could overkill it more. I could make myself a custom editor to-do list that has all kinds of widgets and stuff in it. And it kind of seems like a goodish idea, because you could just like put it here, select it, it would have all the things right here where you need them. But there are other reasons why that's not a good idea. So I think that'll mostly work. Unfortunately, I think I'm gonna have to leave a few bits to finish off next time. Oh, I was hoping to have this fully wrapped up, but now I'm yawning, so that probably says it's time to not keep doing this. All right, so what's working? Can I put a laser on an arm? I can. It is a very small laser. A Pomodoro timer in Unreal. Yeah, I mean, Pomodoro timer you could probably implement in pretty much anything. Like, yeah, I've sort of written them in browser console, written them in web browser. You can write them on command line. You can pretty much write them anywhere because it's a pretty simple concept. Well, it might be a good exercise in learning the engine, really, because I mean, simplistically, all you need is output text, be able to tell the delta one frame to the next to track time, or some other way of tracking time, like system time. Well, of course, obviously, a Pomodoro timer needs a weather system and a day and night cycle. Actually, it might not need it, but it would be a good learning exercise in day and night cycles. And what else does it give you? It gives you basic input and output, getting UI clicks working, and then you can, if you start to get more than just numbers and you want to have like a progress bar of some sort, or a rotating clock thingy like this guy that has a sticky note. Oh yeah, of course. That's good news. Didn't want to forget. Wait, where's the camera? Here. There. I've got this visual timer that doesn't show up great with the light off, but if I turn this light here on, if I find the button hidden under the notepad and do that, no, then it's completely invisible. Pushed out. There we go. That looks nice. Nice-ish. Visible? It looks visible. Anyway. So that's where we are. Yeah, you could actually, it'd be a good learning experience. to try and make that. So why not? All right. So yes, that drags onto there. It's going really small for some reason. So that's probably to do with that size delta being a thing. We've got our mount points here with things in them. And our width is ending up being 59.08. And the mount points size 59.08. Oh yes, of course, because the image nested underneath was that size. So probably I don't want to have it be that size. Yeah, might just like not do that thing. Or if that's 59.08, well, I guess the problem is now if I get this, put that here. Oh, hey, I can drag that off there. That's cool. And then if I let go of it here, then it's just floating around. There we go. So it works except for destroying the parts, but I can actually put them back on there. And it also makes this really tiny, teeny tiny parts because it shouldn't be that size delta. What's this mount point size though? 207 by 66.9. So I think the 66.98 is determining the height there. But what I really want is for it to be like bigger than it was. Like these are little ones, and you drop one and they'll do full size. So that's not the way to do it. Yeah, let's just not do that. Because they used to have a nested image. Oh yeah, this is broken. And I could just put a child of these mount points that has the appropriate size. That would be one option. But right now, just not shrinking them might be good. And yeah, I could basically just make the panel at the back there be a shredder. Yeah, a part shredder. Any part that you don't drop onto a mount point or yeah. Anyway, we'll just end up shredded. But no, I think it'll be better to just sort of grab, like, if they have a parent other than campers by the time they get dropped, then at that point, that means that they are dropped on something. Now, it's just a canvas. Yeah. So this, yeah. So it does have a campus parent. If its parent is the ancestor campus, then I will log that. Not dropped somewhere. Oh, yeah. There we go. Time to die. This is natural death from old age. Ignore the destroy keyword. That's a misnomer. Yes. That might be sufficient to do the job here. So let's hope that this is compiling what I just wrote and not some other random thing. And then I really got to finish up. Don't know how many is a good number of yawns to have recorded on stream, but did it do anything? Try to mount part with no unit selected. Good point, good point. Is this just interrupting? Definitely does not seem to be doing this. Yeah, that should be right. Will it just be select that, then try it? All right, we'll try the legs. Okay, I'll try and drag those out of there. Let's try these and just drop them there. Okay, so that should be the canvas. We've got these parts on here. So their parent does have that canvas. Yep. It's being clamped to the position of that canvas, so that kind of says that does seem like that canvas. Interesting. Yeah, might need to debug this one later. Laser, drop not on there. Can pick it up again. I just don't need it because I can make another one here. Could also solve it by just making a bin that I drop things into. Unwanted parts. Oh. Wait, no. For a moment, I thought I was like setting the parent and then checking. So apparently this was dropped on something. And see what the value is for that canvas parent. Let's see if these are in any way helpful. All right, and this is the last thing, I swear. Because it's been a long few days. Okay, we got a progress bar. Okay, let's grab a shield. Drop it over here. Now, on drop. Thing to fix. No unit is selected. Null for canvas parent. So yeah, we didn't put a canvas. And the ancestor canvas is blueprint editor. Okay, let me just select this and just pull that off there and drop it on something apparently. Blueprint editor. Oh, we got the canvas and we got a rect transform. Okay, that's why they're not showing up as the same, because that is a transform. So we actually don't need that because that is not the canvas, that's a transform. We'll be able to inline that. Let's see that working potentially. Oh, I keep seeing that message with the system and day and night cycle. The next game that I want to make should have that, but not this one. Robots don't care if it's day or night. Okay, if I drop that here, I didn't get dropped on somewhere, so that should be destroyed. Okay, I think that's destroying the draggable robo part on there. So that's the part. And yeah, it's missing that component. All right, so we're getting close. It needs to destroy the whole object, not just that script on the object. I should make my little sandwich game shop though, because I've got some cool people assets to use for that. And that should be a relatively quick game to at least put together a basic version of. Okay, moment of truth. Grab the legs, I dropped them not on somewhere, they got destroyed. Drop them here, destroyed. Drop them on that part that's not compatible, destroyed. Drop them down here, yeah. Drag them off here, destroyed. Okay, great. And I guess, so put them back there. Probably destroyed. Blueprint editor, I can't see anything else in there. And yep, it's only got one part underneath there. Yeah, so now I just need it so that when I select this or this or this, it will show the parts by creating these things. And I need these parts to be the better size. And that's it. Okay, well, let me stop that. And I can drag items away to remove now. And that's what I've done to achieve that. So I just need to make parts per size when on mount points by just maybe setting some kind of scale and just get another item here. This is, what's the other thing I needed to do? Oh yeah. Need to make trackable RoboParts. This is on mount points when factory is selected. There we go. Excellent. And there are a few other bits and pieces, but figure those out. Like saying select a factory if you haven't got a factory selected. Well, what if I add a mischance? In nighttime, you need to add a light source to the robot. Good point. Good point. Well, they're not aiming at the moment. That's the key to that. So they're not missing their target because they have no target. So the way that the lasers work, it literally is just shoot, like take a step forward, fire the laser because your routine says to fire the laser, but no aiming is involved. And that's where sensors will come in. So these points here will be for sensors, and that will allow them to actually tell, like, is there a robot in front of me? And if there is, I can fire at it. And that's possibly where they could have some sort of sort of accuracy system. If there was I guess that comes down to the laser will just shoot forward. But if they had some other type of weapon that needed a target, then that could have a level of accuracy. And then light could be involved if they were using a light-based sensor. So yeah, interesting one. I'll definitely be doing something like that in a game, even if it's not this one, because I will need to have combat in the dark versus in the light, and so on. I'll think about that though. There might be something in here for that. But I do want to stay fairly focused on like the robots, the parts, and the routines for the short term. I'm going to add another item on here actually, just because I do want to remember that. Okay, fine. I'll set the name over here. That I need to update the routine. Editor UI based on blueprint. Select a factory, say. Basically, if you have like this blueprint selected, then down here you should get walk forward and laser, and no other options because that's not supported by these legs and so on. And I think I've already got the data in RoboPart. for that. The budget legs only enables walk forward. Laser now allows shoot laser. Shield allows block. Standard legs, walk forward, turn left and turn right. So I forget what my point was, but oh yeah, my point was to add that. Oh no, I added that while I was in play mode, and so it's gone. This is a reason why this is a bad place for a to-do list, but I'll keep doing it because it's fun. Right. Well, I guess I'll write it better this time when I remember what it was. Yeah. There. Excellent. Well, I'm going to call it a night. You're a knight. That's the window to our side over there. Now that I've called it a night, I'll say good night. Have a good evening or morning or middle of day or whatever it might be. And I'll see you in some days. Oh, hey. Awesome. Oh, I think I'll see you in a week. Take care, everyone. I'll see you in the next one, which I think is on Monday. In this time zone. So like 2 days from now. Cool. I'm going to press this button.